Hi. Kunai, everyone. I don't know why my OBS isn't updating. I don't know why it's just not showing anything. It's just stuck on the starting student screen for me. But I can still see stream looks fine on your guys' side, so hopefully it's not too scuffed. But either way, good to see everyone. Hope you're all having a very good day. Kunai is very tired and just having a very calm weekend. It's actually cold enough in my room that I'm gonna grab my blanket real quick. It's just really it's almost winter, so it's obviously gonna be really cold. Lately, I'm just surprised by how cold it's actually been recently. There, okay. So I don't know. Kunai doesn't know why it's not syncing up on OBS. That's kind of annoying. Hopefully it doesn't close out stream if I close OBS, but I'm gonna check and make sure everything's working okay. Oh, there we go. That's better. Oh my goodness. That's Kunai's doggy. He's very upset over things. He's barking. Hang on, I'll be right back. Okay, there we go. There we go. We're back. Alright. I just brought him in my room. He gets sensitive when there's other dogs and windows, but that's all taken care of. But so, let's get into today's stream, which we're gonna be doing a tier list. Now we're doing a tier list for all the songs from the album 10,000 Days by Tool. So, right off the bat, Kunai's gonna say this. I'm gonna mute the stream's desktop audio, so you should still be able to hear me. But when we're listening to music and songs, that stuff will be muted because Kunai doesn't want to get copyright claimed. So to help me do this, in the description for this stream, there is a link to the playlist of the album on YouTube, so that you guys watching can listen along and give your own opinions as we go throughout. This might be a longer stream than usual. The album itself comes out to around an hour, 10 minutes. But we'll see as we go from there. So I'm gonna mute desktop audio, which means no more BGM for the minute. Yeah, no. I can make it so it has BGM set up, but it might be a little awkward. We'll just turn it off for now. It's okay. So I'm going to mute desktop audio, and I'm going to get the playlist up for me on my side of things. And we're going to go and get ready. Okay. Oop. I'm gonna have to make that a separate window, I guess. I'm very, very professional streamer. Very professional. There we go. So that's just gonna be a smaller separate window. And we're just gonna listen to it. I'm gonna have OBS back open just in case, so hopefully it won't pick up anything, but we will see. So the first song in the album is Vicarious. So I'm gonna listen to it for a little bit, and then I'll let you guys do the same, and then we'll rank it. This is gonna be a very weird stream to listen back to, but hopefully it'll be fun. Kunai wanted to do this just to have fun, because music's not really something I really talk about too much, but it's a very weird thing, because it's like music is something I listen to almost all the time, every day, but I only listen to music when I'm in the mood for it. But Kunai does definitely. Hopefully it's not picking up on through my mic, but Kunai's never mentioned this on stream, but I actually have a drum kit. It's not really like a full manual drum kit or anything like that. It's an electric one, but Kunai is amateurly self-taught on drums, which that's been something fun and very interesting, I would say. It's been a lot of a process, but that might be something we do later down the line, but who's to say? Also, I just realized I don't have my pop filter on, so just 1 second. Okay, there we go. Pop filter's on. I say pop filter. It's not really a pop filter, but Kunai calls it that because it's funny. Okay, I'm gonna pause the song for me. Hopefully, it's still open for you guys if you're still listening. Feel free to just. I don't feel like I should say this, but if you want to listen to the songs on your own still, that's totally fine. It's not a big deal. Also, I'm gonna put in this in here. I'm just typing in chat. I'm gonna pin where the link for the album playlist is. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. So now that that's in there, Kunai's gonna pause the song for right now because we're about halfway through. So, where would I put Vicarious in the on the tier list? So for Kunai thinks it's a really strong opening. It's not his favorite song. It's not my favorite song on the album. It's one of them. It's definitely like there's about 10 to 11 songs on the album. 9 if you count the ones that are actual songs. Around 8 or 9 if you count the actual song ones. But for Kunai, I think Vicarious is good, but it's only about an A. Yeah. It's a really good opening song, but it's almost I don't want to say it's too strong of an opening, because it's a good opening, but I don't know. It just sets this idea that the rest of the album is going to be like that, which it's not, but that's not necessarily a bad thing either. So moving on, next song in the album is Jambi, which I'm gonna listen to for a little bit, and you guys will hopefully do the same, and we'll go from there. Hopefully my mic isn't picking it up through my headphones. I don't have it super loud, but still. Yeah. Also, Kunai probably needs to eat food soon. Not during stream, but at some point after probably. Because I had coffee this morning, but I haven't really eaten a ton just yet. Kunai also woke up fairly late. I slept in this morning, so. Yeah, Kunai's just been very busy. There's training and work stuff, so that's why I've been streaming during my time off and on weekends. That might change coming up, but we'll see. Because Kunai's schedule is going to be very different after January. December itself is going to be an interesting month, but we'll go from there. Okay. I also don't want to play and listen to the songs all the way through, because then it's just going to be me listening to music, the stream, and just get distracted. So that's why I'm stopping about after a few minutes, because if you've never listened to Tool songs, they're very long, like averaging about 6 to 7 minutes per song. Not all the time, but a majority of them are at least around 5 minutes or so over. Alright. So for Jambu, Kunai really likes this song, but at the same time, it's one of those. It kind of reminds Kunai of The Grudge from Lateralis, where there's a lot of build-up, and there are moments where it's like eases you in and makes you expectant for something, and doesn't quite get there until around halfway through or so, if not more. And then when it finally happens, it's like, yay, finally, stuff. And you're actually like listening to like the instrumentals and stuff. Not that the vocals are bad in Tool songs. The vocals are some of the best parts of it. But a lot of the instrumentals and just like I'm trying to remember all of like the terms and stuff, because Kunai is not formally educated in music. I've taken some stuff and I know a few things, but not enough to be like anywhere near musically literate. Like Lisa from Idol, she would be a lot better at this than I am. But still, I'm gonna do my best. But for like key signatures and like the actual like notes and how they're played, that's like Tool's specialty for doing stuff in a very different keyframe stuff. Which I say keyframe like it's video, it's music. Their time signatures and stuff are just very different, which sets them apart. Kunai likes it, but it also makes some songs like a lot of build up, and you just kind of want to get there and hear it. But I don't know. For this song in particular, Kunai likes it, but it's not. Kunai personally thinks that's really good, but it's also not one of my. Like objectively, I do think it's probably only around like middle of the road, which is fine. So for the next song in the playlist, it feels like I'm rushing through this. That's kind of because I am. Kunai is rushing just a little bit to make up for how long I was on starting soon, because I feel like I need to get better at doing that. But that's conversation for a different time. So next song in the album is Wings for Murray. So I have a lot to say about this song and its second part, but Kunai wants to save that for after the second song, if that makes sense, because I feel like it's better to just talk about them both. Okay. Sorry for being quiet. I'm just listening to songs. Okay. All right. So that's like the bit I'm gonna stop at for Wings Part One, and then we're gonna go to Wings Part Two, the namesake of the album, 10,000 Days. This song is 11 minutes long, by the way. Not almost 12, but I'm sorry for being quiet. I just listening and actually like analyzing music is very it's an interesting experience, and I'm probably not gonna do this a ton. This is just more or less a one-off stream, but still. Okay, that's what I'm gonna stop for right now. So let's get into the list stuff. So for Wings Part One, it's a very slow and not necessarily sad, more just melancholic. I would say it's very like again talking about music like artistically and like ranking wise. It's a very artistic and very melancholic song because like I know what both of these songs are about. It's about Maynard's mom and his experience with her passing, and that resonates a little bit for Kunai because I'm lucky because I still have both my mom and my stepmom, but it's also just like I don't know how I'm gonna react when that day happens, and it's a little scary to think about, but I want to just you kind of have to just remember people who are important and matter in your life in a good light, I think. And that's kind of the overall message of both songs, or the song as a whole, that the people who trust us the most and the people who have the most faith in us and believe in us and just push us to be the best of us are not always family, but a lot of the times it is. And I don't know. Like, it's awkward to talk about because Kunai doesn't really like talking about super heavy subjects because Kunai wants you all to be very happy and have happy lives and to always cherish your smile. But at the same time, life has moments where it's just hard, and Kunai's dog is barking. What? Don't bark, Bubby. It's okay. It's okay. Come here. No growling. No growling. Don't be sad. Don't be angry. Sorry. He's been fussy because, speaking of my mom, she's out of state on vacation right now with my brother for a little bit. She'll be home next week or so. but I'm just house sitting right now. And my little doggy is lonely. Yeah, back to the list and songs. I would overall say, while it's a very somber and melancholic song, Wings for Maria is still really good. And I would probably put it in the same area in tiers like Zombie. It's a B. It's good. It's kind of slow, and if that's not what you're looking for, then that's not what you're looking for. But for Wings Part 2, that feels a lot more like I can understand why the song and this album share the same name because Kunai really likes the song. Like I hadn't heard it before not a few weeks ago, but like about a month or two ago. I hadn't listened to it. But I finally got around to like listening through the full album all the way. And while both songs stuck with Kunai, Wings Part 2 stuck a lot more, and I think it's the one that deserves to be the first S tier. So it won't be the only one, but it's the one that Kunai likes the most from this album. But the next song on the tier list is The Pot. So we're going to listen to that for a little bit and then give our opinions. Because Kunai has some opinions about this song. I'm trying not to sing along. This isn't gonna be a karaoke stream because where you'll get in trouble. But copyright avoidance is gonna be hard for this stream. That's for sure. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there. All you guys, again, you guys can keep listening if you want to while I'm rambling. That's perfectly fine. But for the list itself, Kunai has some opinions about the song, mostly just about the actual quality of it as a whole. For Kunai, this was one of the songs that got Kunai into Tool in the first place, and the general perception that Kunai's kind of seen just online is that this, alongside like Schism and Sober, are kind of like Baby's first Tool songs. Not that that's a bad thing, but it's like these are the songs that are like the most like normal-ish like hard rock, alternative rock songs that Tool is like known for. And like some of their weirder, more bizarre songs are what's a bit more popular. But these songs are the ones that get most like, well, not necessarily more popular, just more well liked. But songs like Pot and Schism and Sober are the ones that get more like publicity, or the ones more listened to commonly by just an average normal person. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but it does give it like a sort of stigma, or at least it could. But as a whole, Kunai still really likes the song. Not as much as another song that's similar-ish, but still Kunai prefers. So for The Pot, Kunai's gonna put it in A. Kunai still likes it and thinks it's good, but it's just, I could understand why some people don't. And that's perfectly fine. And that's gonna be, like, a lot of this is gonna be just opinion, like even if it's like my opinion on objective quality. If you disagree, that's perfectly okay. But for the next song in the album, this one is Lippen Conjuring or Lipen Conjuring. And it's a short one, it's only 1 minute and 13 seconds. And you'll see why. Okay. So for this song, it's definitely interesting. Kunai doesn't want to say that's bad. It's interesting. And like it does work as being like an eerie, like weird out piece. Like especially since it's like right around the middle of the album. But it's definitely like if you were just listening to music and just heard this for the first time and you weren't expecting it, yeah, this song would probably freak you out and weird you out a little bit. And also it's just like it's probably a good thing that it's as short as it is. But overall, Kunai thinks this song is only about a C, so this is probably the lowest that we're gonna get on the list, aside from maybe like the very last song on the album. But I don't know. That's just Kunai's opinion on it. It's a weird song, not bad, but definitely like the weirdest on this list. But the next one is is interesting, so but for a different reason. So this one is Lost Keys. And Kunai doesn't know if you guys are doing this, but for Kunai, I'm like skipping around and like going forward in the playlist and songs as a whole. If you guys aren't, that's fine. But all right. So for Kunai, Lost Keys is a good melody. Like it's a good beat and overall like actual like instrumentals of it, like the guitar playing are good and it's a build up. But if you didn't know and only listened to the song on its own and didn't listen to the song after, you would probably feel just a little unsatisfied, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just like I don't know, like it works for an intro piece, but as its own separate song, it's kind of not great. But I don't think it's as weird as Lippen Conjuring, so I think it's only gonna be a B. But the next song, Kunai, Kunai's excited for this next song because this might be the only one that Kunai listens to all the way through, even when talking about it. But the next song is Rosetta Stoned. Again, I'm sorry for not talking, but Again, I'm sorry for not talking, but I'm just trying to listen at the same time. It's hard to be entertaining. Again, I'm sorry for being quiet. Okay, I'm gonna stop for right there, but I'm gonna go to the list. So I think, if you can't tell, it's obvious. Kunai thinks Rosetta Stone's gonna go ass. Because it's almost like the opposite of 10,000 Days. Where Wings Part 2 is a really profound and emotionally emotionally charged song. Rosetta Stone is also emotionally charged, but it's also really weird. In like a funny way, as opposed to like Lip and Conjuring, which is just kind of weird and unsettling. Rosetta Stone is weird, but funny. And it also has moments where it's like really profound. But also just the instrumentals as a whole are just really good throughout, and it's just a really good beat that to listen to stuff. It's also a very fast-paced song for an 11-minute piece. It does not feel like it is until maybe like halfway through. But like from the beginning and like near the end, it just goes really fast, I would say. But yeah, easy S tier for me. If you disagree, that's fine, but Kunai would argue otherwise. The next song is Intention. Alright. Kunai's gonna stop there for the song, but as a whole, I actually like this one a lot more than thought I was gonna. Because right after Rosetta Stone, which is like a very fast paced and frenetic song, Intention is very slow and just melodic, and just kind of takes you out from like the speed of the last song. And it's just kind of like brings it back down and mellows you out a bit. And it's better than I thought it was gonna be. So, it's not like it's the first time hearing it. It's just the song that I think Kunai remembers the least. Which I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. Because like Lip and Conjuring is weird, but it's memorable. Well, Intention, while it's really good, it's also kind of forgettable at the same time. Because it's like right before, because it's sandwiched between two really good songs in the album, but it's also not a bad song in itself. So Kunai's for now gonna put it at B, but that might change later. Like this list, it's more or less what Kunai feels right now. It's not set in stone forever, but for now at least, I'm gonna put it at B. which, don't worry, if you want another S tier song, you're gonna get it, because the next song in the album is Right Into. Again, sorry for being quiet. I'm just listening. It's hard to talk over while you're listening to music because you want to listen, but you also want to describe and give your opinions at the same time. But don't worry, Kunai is gonna talk about this song. Don't worry. Okay. So, Right Into, if it wasn't obvious and you couldn't tell, it's a song about, Christianity, like the creation myth, the Garden of Eden. Lucifer looking at humanity and what they do, and not understanding why God does what he does, or why he takes care of humanity when he just sees them as nothing but savage animals. Silly monkeys, give them thumbs, they use it to kill their brother. Which is obviously, you could argue that's a very general statement, or if it's about Cain and Abel. But just storytelling, from a storytelling perspective alone, this is a very there's a lot of depth to the song, and obviously, if you were someone who was necessarily making story writing stuff or doing something with Paradise Lost as a story, and you needed inspiration, this would probably be a very good song to listen to, because that's what this whole song is about in the first place. As far as the album itself goes, Kunai would say this is of the big three songs, Vicarious, you could argue that any songs from A, or the ones that are in S, can go into S tier. There's an argument, I think, even for Zombie. Kunai's gonna move this one into A, actually, now that I think about it. This one's good enough for A. Wings for Marie also is, I'd say. But for Right Into, I'm going to put this one in S. But Kunai thinks that if you wanted to argue for any of the ones in A also being an S tier, or ones in S going down in A, there's a reasonable and relevant argument that you can make. For the last song of the album, we have Kunai can't speak Italian and or Latin, but I'm pretty sure it's Italian, but it's Viginti or Viginti Tres, which means three, so something three. Okay. So what Kunai is going to do, I'm going to quickly make a translate, I'm going to make a real quick, like, incognito tab, go in Google Translate, because I don't, again, don't speak Italian and or Latin, but to give the song its fair due, I want to actually give, like, analyze it a little bit. So I'm going to try Italian first, so... Yeah, so it is Latin. 23. That's 23. When Kunai hears that, that makes Kunai think of 46 and 2. Which is another Tool song from a different album. But 23 is... Because 46 and 2, if you divide 46 by 2, that's obviously 23. But that's an interesting title for a song that, for all intents and purposes, is sort of just white noise and, like, a very spooky, like, ambient track. Kunai thinks it's probably going to go in C with Lip and Conjuring just because it's kind of weird and bizarre. But, like, as, like, a backing track, like, if you put it in, like, a horror game or something, Kunai thinks it could work well. And be, like, very, like, unsettling and, like, creepy. But as, like, an actual, like, song, it's not a great listen. Which is probably... And Kunai also knows that there's, like, an Easter egg song if you play it with other stuff throughout the album. But that doesn't really feel like it should count. But right there is the list as it is. That's all 11 songs. And overall, Kunai would say that is accurate to his feelings. The album itself, 10,000 Days is interesting because it's it feels like it's a very personal album for Maynard. But it's also, like, it's personal, but if you've experienced similar things to what he has, you can relate to it. Or at the very least, empathize or sympathize. Which that's probably what the best music does. If you can feel what, the composer, the musician is feeling through their music, that's how you know a song or an album as a whole succeeds. And I feel like people kind of give, like, rock or metal music just, like, a shrug off because, like, not all the time, obviously, and not in super modern years, but, like, even still, like, a lot of people will say that, like, oh, like, sad songs or happy songs or very, like, emotional, substantial songs are the only ones that can make you feel things. And that's just objectively not true. You can feel emotion from almost anything. It's just, you kind of have to just be willing to experience it, I guess, if that makes sense. It's less that only songs that are emotionally charged can make you feel things. It's more just that you have to be willing to understand and experience the emotions that the songwriter and the musicians are feeling to actually share in that feeling, I guess. I don't know. I'm not great with... Kunai is really good at writing words and explaining stuff in writing. Not so much talking them out. But either way, you've been streaming for about 40 minutes, about an hour, so which It's about the usual stream time. So that Kunai doesn't want to stream longer, but Kunai knows that you guys are all probably busy. Kunai is also kind of busy too. So I don't really want to take up more time out of your day than I have to. But thank you all for coming today. Hopefully, I know the stream was kind of weird because I didn't play any of the songs on stream. That's because I'm worried about copyright claim stuff. But regardless, Kunai hopes you had a very good time. And I'll see you guys for the next stream. Take care, and I'll see you off with VGM.